Okay, I've been doing Trans Am videos. I will lay in bed. I decided I wanted to do this video, share some of my so-called wisdom with you. And this is about, I have an open mortgage amortization schedule here, and I'll get to that in a minute. So this is a video you need to watch. I know my other videos, they pretty much stink. But it's kind of a documentary for me. So you want to get your first. This is about getting your. Let's say that your first house, or your second house, or your third house, whatever. And again, I'll get into this more in depth as soon as I can. But first of all, you need to when you're young, unless you are a really good saver, you need to build up your credit. So when I was 16, I wanted the motorcycle. I talked to my parents. Maybe I was 17. I didn't have any credit. I didn't even know what it was. I just said, "Mom, can you help me get this? They need you to sign." So they signed, and I was. They were what is it called? They were a co-signer. A couple years later, I couldn't make the payments. I was in trouble, but I had enough sense, even though I was a total idiot at that age. Looking back, I thought I was a grown-up. I did have enough sense to sell it. I paid off the loan. Um, Somewhere out there in the world, the information world, they collect that information. Here's this young kid, and he paid off his loan. Next time I wanted something, and I can't remember what I wanted next. I didn't need a cosigner, and I was able to borrow the money. Again, they loan you money in stages of how much you can borrow. But I kept buying things, paying them off, paying them off. Then I realized that I checked my credit score and it was starting to go up. They like credit scores don't go up because you're a good person. Credit scores go up because you have debt. They want you to be in debt, and they want people to pay that debt. And again, this is leading to houses. This is leading to that amortization schedule. So it's important that you pay your bills. It's important that you basically the old thing is you do. There's nothing more important than your word. When you sign something that says you're going to pay something, that's your word. Okay, so you finally get your. And by the way, I bought a house when I was 20. Looking back, I don't know how I did it. I did it. But somewhere along the line, I learned about this schedule here I'm showing you, and I've applied it all my life. And I guess part of this is if you watch my videos, it's more of a documentary for me to go. I know I keep changing subjects, but I've taken a lot of pictures in my life, and they all end up in the dump. This is on YouTube. It's free. I can always go back and look at it. And more important, I just want something to do. So now you have the credit. You go to the bank. They give you a loan. You're thinking, great, I own a house. I'm happy. I'm free. What they don't tell you is what I'm going to show you right here. First of all, you buy it. We're looking at this. So we bought a $300,000 house in a 30-year with a 5.5 APR, which I can't remember the term right now, in 2019. Your first payment is going to be, it doesn't say what your payment's going to be, but if you add these two up, that's what your payment is. It's about, let's see, it's about $1,660. Of that $1,660, $1,313 is going to go towards the interest. You're going to give the bank, because they are nice enough to loan you the money, you're going to give them $1,300, and they're going to pay, and they're going to allow you to pay your house down $344. That's nothing. That's nothing. So the wisdom I'm sharing with you here, if you have it together and you know this, if you're able to, you write out a separate check in this first month for $346. On the bottom of the check, you write, "This is towards principal only." And then you print the schedule out and you keep it and you mark and you write that you skipped this payment. Don't ever trust the bank to keep track of records for you. They might, even if you write this on, they might apply it to the payment. But if you write it down and you look in the next month and you are savvy enough to say, well, this is wrong, you call them and say, no, that money was towards the principal. They'll fix it. So if you do this every month, you pay an extra payment, you're going to pay this house off in 15 years. So getting back to this, you paid $346, you saved $1,300. So 306, 9, 12, 369. You just made 4 times your money. That's the way I look at it. You just saved. You took $346 and you quadrupled it. I mean, it seems like you didn't, but in the end, if you keep this house, you quadrupled your money because you didn't have to pay it. Anything you're paying out that doesn't come back to you is spent money. It's gone. Yeah. Now, if you're watching this and you might say, well, you can write off your interest. True, but you can't write off unless you pay it. You can't write off interest unless you paid taxes. I can't really explain this right now, but it doesn't work that way. But let's just say that you do write it off. Another thing is when you pay your taxes on this house, let's say your taxes are, I don't know what they are, $2,000. You're paying $2,000 a year for the bank. They're not paying taxes. You're paying the taxes for the house you don't even own. At this point, you own $346 maybe plus what you put down as a down payment. If you put a down payment, the houses are so high now. I mean, the rules are so flexible now. You can almost buy a house with nothing down. Let's say you can't make this extra principal payment. Well, I'm going to disagree. You have to figure out a way to do it. You want to get it. Let's say you're watching this and you're 20. When you're 35, I know that sounds like a million years away, but when you're 35, you could have your house paid for and never have to make another house payment ever again in your life. At 35. So you got to build up your credit rating. You got to make extra payments. And you have to somehow build up a cash reserve of 6 months on the side in case something goes wrong so you don't lose your house. When you're young, you got to have good credit rating. And you got to have, and you got to do this, what I'm showing you right here. You have to do it. The third thing is that there's a thing called the market. I call it the market. That means the stock market, the prices go up, the prices go down. It went down in 2008 because I can't remember the name. Well, one of the big stock companies lost favor and it went bankrupt. That's a whole other story. But then the house prices just tanked, and your house might have been worth, depending where you are, it might have dropped in half or a third. Never sell your house when the market drops. Don't do it. In fact, if you're really smart, you want to see the market drop. You save your money, you're building up your credit, you're putting it aside, you're waiting for the market to drop, and when it drops, it takes a year or two, it drops all the way down, and then the house prices drop. If you can buy a house right then, you are going to make a mint of money. Quick example: I've had I think 8 houses in my life. In 19 let's see, I'm trying to remember the year. In 1997, I bought a house in Silicon Valley in San Jose. That's the outside edge of Silicon Valley. I bought it for $225,000. That's a lot of money. Over there, it's not as much because the wages are higher. It's pretty much the same. Houses are worth what the wages are in your area. But anyway, I bought this house for $225,000. 3 years later, my wife died at 40, and I was, heartbroken, and I just wanted out of this house. The market had not recovered all the way yet. It was still, again, I bought it when I bought the house, the markets were down low. So I tried to sell it because I wanted out. You have to go through a death to understand this, especially with a spouse. But anyway, I put up for sale. It didn't sell. I think I put it for $275. It didn't sell. Maybe it was $300. It didn't sell. In retrospect, that was good. So in 2005, I decided I wanted to move to Washington, to a rural area. The market, all of a sudden, in like 2003, it went up 100,000 one year. It went up 100,000 the next year. It went up 100,000 the next year. It was crazy. And I ended up selling for $625,000. And I had been doing what I'm showing you here. I had been paying extra principal payments. So actually, the house was paid down 15 years. So I'd built up a bunch of equity, they call it. And basically, it means a lot of principal. And then I came here, and I was able to buy a house with 5 acres cash. But again, I guess the reason I'm making this video is you guys might watch my videos and you said this guy's got a shop and he's got a lift and he's got the money to do this work on his car, and he doesn't seem to have a care in the world. Well, the reason I'm able to do this is because of what I'm showing you here. Is that you are going to get old. You don't think it, because I was in construction. I was always the youngest guy at the construction job. All of a sudden, I was the oldest. It just happens. I mean, if you're watching this, look on your life right now. Look back. Let's say you're whatever age you are. Look back 5 years. It flew by. It just flies by. If you apply this principle, you can do this with credit cards too. You have to figure out a way to, when you get old like me, that you aren't stuck in a rental with no garage, rent payments that'll never end, rents that keep going up. It'll happen to you. It will happen to you. The most important thing, well, again, I'm not a gifted speaker, but I have a saying. The way to make money is you don't spend it. I don't care. You might be making I started out making $1.65 an hour. That was minimum wage. And I bought a Plymouth Roadrunner off a lot for $1,200. That was a fortune to me. It was used, but it was a fortune. You have to figure out a way to save some money so you can, when you get older, or even, you just have to figure out a way to save money. This is a forced savings account. If you don't sell in a down market, you'll be safe. That's it.